Hello everyone, Ceia here. Today I'll be introducing the current final frontier of grinding in Girls Frontline. 12 for Emergency. We're doing the Corpse Drag version of this guy. So this map has a lot of advantages and one disadvantage. But it's definitely the step up for the current grinding maps that we have, being 02, 8-1 Night, 10-4 Emergency, 11-5. I'll be going through which dolls are the most cost efficient in handling this map, what formations you want to use, the minimum requirements, and more. First up, why 12-4E? To summarize, 12-4E has a base experience of 600. It has one of the highest core rates in the game, averaging 1.2 cores per run, and 1.5 cores with rescue skill level 10 enabled. It can be cleared for an additional check. It also drops a 4-star limited in MAT49, MDR as its 5-star, and you'll be seeing MDR more often than Shrimp in 10-4E for comparison's sake. It also has lower requirements to crop strike this map if you're doing a direct comparison between 11.5 and 12.4E. So I'll get to that in a bit. Next, I want to talk about who will be the DPS. Currently, 416 Mod 2 and above will be the go-to DPS for this map. Following behind are K11 with a skill level 10, Salt Mod 2 and above, Uzi Mod 2 and above in order. So why 416 Mod 2? Her initial cooldown reduction from 8 seconds to 6 seconds will be invaluable, as she will be able to get her grenade off before the enemy get their first volley off. Her Mod 2 skill will also kill off any stragglers that remain from her main grenade. That's why she's the ideal pick for this map. You'll need a second DPS to run this map efficiently, but if you're like me and plan to spend at least 10,000 runs in this map, do invest in the second 416 Mod 2. Else, you can pick one of the second tier choices. K11 is great in this map, since she too has a 6-second initial cooldown on her grenade. However, her grenade placement is randomly generated. There are times where she will get a good hit off, there are times where she will not. Given enough buffs, K11 can perform pretty decently. Not as good as 416, but good enough to be above the rest. Salt Mod is up next. Reason why she's third in the standings will be mainly because of her 8-second initial cooldown grenade. The enemies will be able to get 1 to 2 volleys off before her grenade wipes the enemies, therefore increasing the repair costs in the long run. A gun DPS is still the best out of the 4, but you're trading that for a 2-second more initial cooldown on her grenade. All in all, still a pretty solid pick. Uzi Mod is last, since you need a handgun or an assault rifle to buff her firepower, so she can kill the enemies quickly. Submachine guns also cost more than assault rifles, and she'll need skill level 10 on both her skills to be efficient. However, she can be useful in the next grinding location, namely 13-4. We'll get to that when the time comes. As for minimum requirements, it all depends on your fairy buffs and who you're bringing. For example, I was able to level a 1-star parachute fairy with my dual 416 setup with only 1 to 2 handguns or submachine guns buffing her. If you bring a higher firepower fairy, you'll be able to reduce the buffer count, so you can level more non-buffer dolls. A shotgun, you need to combat report that shotgun to level 60 in order to equip maxed gold armor, or M16A1 with maxed out special equipment that you can get from 64N. We will need a tank. As you can see in the many clips I presented as an example so far, they'll be using this B formation with the tank in Tower 5, which is the middle one. Feel free to level all of your shotguns while doing 12-4E before switching over to M16. SM16, even with maxed out special equipment, will not be able to reduce the damage taken to 1, as the best pits have more firepower than her armor. With all that said, what are the disadvantages of running 12-4E? The main disadvantage will be the need to clear the entirety of Chapter 12 before being able to access it. As Chapter 12 is held after the events of Shattered Connection, enemies from said event will be present there, and will not be a walk in the park to clear. But once you've done that, you'll be able to grind in 12-4E for the months to come, and you can forget about the rest of the grinding maps. 12-4E will be your new home. And that is all for the 12-4E Dragon Guide. I hope you found the guide useful. If so, please do share it with the community. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Shoujo Zensen!